I messaged Luke just for this. By the way, Luke's a mystery man. We'll reference
Have you asked Luke on your podcast yet?
Absolutely not. He operates in the shadows.
I've asked him. He said no. He said not yet. I was like, what are you waiting for?
Like, if anyone tries to get a picture of him, just tell them to fuck off.
We are good to go. Today, we are talking shit. You like that?
Yeah.
With Mr. James Smith. James' second time on the show.
Yes.
Which feels mad because it feels like more.
And this is the first time face-to-face, though.
That is mad.
Yeah.
Because we've done 3, right?
Yeah, we have.
I think I've done yours twice. You've done mine. This is the second time. So, welcome to Paul Mort Talks Shit. I actually, for this one, I don't have any pre-planned questions other than how was fucking Friday?
Yeah, it was good. I had to think what was Friday then.
So Friday, James had, would you call that the biggest night of your career so far?
Yeah, we sold out the Roundhouse in London. So a lot of people are like, oh, it's really prestigious. I never fucking heard of the Roundhouse.
Me neither. It's a very cool name though.
Yeah, so
sounds like you could play snooker there actually.
Yeah.
What is it? It's a
big capacity venue. It's 1,500 people.
Who else has played there? I'd love to know that.
I think like Biffy Clyro played like one of the last gigs that were there. I don't know much about Biffy Clyro either. It's just something that someone else said. They're like, oh yeah, Biffy Clyro. I'm like, oh yeah. So. But yeah, 1,500 people is the most we've had. We had 1,200 at Sydney a few months ago before it went to shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had to get more chairs brought into the venue. Mm-hmm. It cost us $9,000 to get the chairs in.
Shit.
So so we could have had like assembly chairs, but like now we'll have proper like event chairs in.
Yeah.
So considering this,
so they weren't the fold up.
Yeah,
they didn't have the fold up ones.
They're the ones that are on the rig. So it's
so
like a football stadium.
Yeah.
Because there are other types of chairs you can get, but you don't want people moving chairs when they get up. You don't want someone standing up and you're.
Yes.
So we wanted that to be perfect. The venue is really expensive, and do you know what? Biggest event ever. Probably made the least money from it than any of the others. Of the others. It was very close. So the night before, we had 450 people at Exeter. Mm-hmm. Those events build about very similar amounts of money.
Really?
It's crazy. So, but like I kept calling it the Catalina wine mixer. It's like, it's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah.
And I was like, Darren, this is the biggest event we're going to be doing for ages. And Luke's like, oh, actually Manchester 1,600. I was like, fuck off.
Is it?
We haven't actually looked at, like we play it very much week by week, like disorganized. Actually, even trying to put me in for a podcast. Like, you want to do a podcast? I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Someone said to me the other day, I get asked quite a bit in his opinion, can you put me in touch with James? I'm like, well, I could. I'm not going to. I can give you the email address of his agent. And they're like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, well, check this out. James is my mate, and I still have to fucking speak to Luke, who's also, by the way, my agent, which is the weirdest fucking setup ever. Hey, do you want to go for dinner? I don't know. Yeah. I'd like to go for dinner, but I don't know.
It's all the time. I'm like, so where are we going? And then what's next? And even like, Darren's the same. We're like, oh, we got London on Friday. And
you know what though, mate? That allows you to focus on what you're fucking good at.
Exactly. And even people, I think, can sometimes forget even just not stressing about my calendar or not stressing about booking things in or appointments or knowing that someone else is going to message me at 10 p.m. going, by the way, you got Paul Mort tomorrow.
Yeah.
That allows me to have the freedom to work on more profitable tasks. Mm-hmm. And even content creation or idea creation is part of that. And I think people, especially when they need, people irrespective of their business requirements, need an element of creativity. And that is always going to be attached to whatever kind of personal energy you have.
But I think a lot of the time, I think most people that are in business tend to be creative people anyway, right? Because you're essentially creating solutions to people's problems. And I think the best business people, the most successful ones, are usually the ones that are most creative, but have people that are more, I want to use the word anal for some reason.
Attention to detail.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like attention to detail, spreadsheets, numbers, all the boring shit. I think those most successful people are the ones that are the most creative with that as backup.
Do you know what's interesting? I had this conversation with Paula Lima where yourself, myself, Paula Lima, Darren, all did terrible in the education system. Mm-hmm. Yet we are creatives to the point that we can run very, very profitable businesses and work very, very few hours.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a big kind of elephant in the room that the education system as it currently stands does, it cannot quantify someone's ability for creativeness or business acumen, all these things. So many the things you learn at school are fucking
Well, you
ridiculous.
just learn it in parrot fashion.
Yeah.
You literally, school is about remembering things.
Mm. I agree with that.
Think about that, right? Like everything you do at school, it's because you've had to remember a fact or remember a number, or you've practiced a times table so many fucking times that you can say it off by heart. You know what I mean? That is quite, and we've been thinking about this a lot recently because Nina has only been to school once in the past like 6 weeks. She got sent home after an hour because of all this fucking track and trace, and then
Shut
she
up.
got COVID, and then Max had COVID. Oh, they've hardly been at school, and then we're like, but they're both smart as fuck.
How
And
was she with the COVID?
oh mate, they were both. Max was worse. The temperature was ridiculously high, but they were puking in that. Like they
Is-
were puking up loads.
And how old are they?
Nina is this is bad. I don't know this.
Roughly.
Nina's 8, Max is 10, roughly.
Ballpark.
Nina's 8, Max is 10.
There's a study that came out recently about how COVID has affected the IQs of people that
Oh, really?
have had it. I think they did an IQ. I didn't see the study. I've read the news, so this could be bullshit. But they did a study across people. Don't know where I'm going with that. And then basically the population of people that had COVID had lost IQ points.
Really?
Now, like whether or not lung damage could then affect oxygen, which could then affect, the brain's ability to concentrate, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that the whole I love podcasts where people talk about COVID. Like some people think you're kind of getting levitated towards something. I love it. Like
Well, mate, that thing you said about the lungs, I still can't breathe properly. I did it. Do you know what? I was in the tube station today. I very rarely get the tube when I'm here. And I saw 2 escalators and the stairs. And I'm thinking, fuck me. I spent 80 quid on a burger yesterday that must have had 2,000 calories in it. I'm getting my fucking neat up here. I got to the top and I was fucking gassed. I'm like, is that the COVID? Or is it the fucking truffle? The truffle oil. Yeah, it was, but it'll be interesting when we roll jiu-jitsu to see what my lungs are actually like.
Did you have a COVID jab before?
One.
Okay. I
And
got my
then
second one in 2 days.
I told a little lie.
Go on.
On Sunday, so I'm going to Ibiza next Saturday with a fam. You have to have been jabbed within a certain time frame to go. So within about a week of having COVID, I had the second jab, and the doctor actually said, "Have you had COVID in the last 28 days?" And I was looking around, I was thinking, do you think any of these people that are in the room, because obviously you're in your local town, you think, do you think any of these people know who I am? Sometimes you get that, right? You couldn't get away with saying that, probably. If you had a COVID in the last 28 days, I was like, no, I haven't. I'd had it like 4 days before. That's how desperate I'm going to Ibiza, people. But yeah, I had the second jab, and I had no side effects from it at all. Not even a dead arm.
No, it's I had the dead arm quite bad.
Did you?
There's another European country, I can't remember, who the vaccine rollout, I think it might be Israel, could be wrong. The efficacy of the vaccine's been substantially worse than it has been here.
It was Israel.
Because they only did the jabs 4 weeks apart rather
really?
than the guaranteed
But
12.
funny enough, I made a post about. Do you know when you look back at the numbers on your posts on social media and you're like, fine well that the ones that are the most popular are the ones that where you cause the biggest ruckus. I just said, if you watch Love Island, say you instead of you. Or what was the third one? Can you remember? I said, if you do any of these 3, snort yourself inside every weekend. I'm not going to take your advice on the vaccine. And it just fucking kicked off, and someone sent me that Israel study.
It's
mad.
I messaged Luke just for this. By the way, Luke's a mystery man. We'll reference.
Have you asked Luke on your podcast yet?
Absolutely not. He operates in the shadows.
I've asked him. He said no. He said not yet. I was like, what are you waiting for?
Like, if anyone tries to get a picture of him, just tell them to fuck off. But like, I've been very fortunate. Not got COVID. Not had it. Not yet.
Well, we'll roll it tomorrow, so you probably have it by Wednesday or Thursday.
It's crazy because I get through periods where I'm like, oh, I want to be a bit cautious, and then people around me are like dropping like flies. But it's ultimately when you're going to get it. But for myself, I'm trying to take care of what I can outside of it. And like even now, I'm supplementing for the first time. In Australia, I wasn't supplementing, but now I'm back here. Fish oils, vitamin D, vitamin C, religiously every morning.
Yeah,
because that's in my power. It cost me a few quid, whatever. It's kind of fucking bit ridiculous that there's still no narrative towards health, composition.
Nothing. I think there was that bit last summer. You probably missed this. or you might know about where they started sending out vitamin D. They started, didn't they? In this country, I think they started sending out vulnerable people vitamin D subs. Or
It's,
maybe I just dreamed that, but I'm pretty sure that fucking happened.
for me, like I know if I was in control of this country, I would have gone full draconian. I'd
And
put
then Boris said he was going to lose weight and then didn't.
yeah. And it, the
He
fucking
said I got COVID because I was too fat. I'm going to lose weight, and then he didn't.
I would have if I was in charge, I would have gone full draconian and said, look, lockdown. First few weeks, other countries locking down. I would have said, right, military on the streets, like you rubber bullets, you're outside, bomb. I would have then employed several thousand like delivery food drivers, and I would have got them tested like every day.
Yeah.
They would deliver food to your house, and the government would subsidize Morrison's, Waitrose, Sainsbury's, whatever. Like I would literally have spent 3 weeks, say, stay in your home, you got hot water, drinking water, don't leave your house or you'll be shot. You know, because if you reduce, I know it's obviously not that simple,
Mate, this is a terrible joke, but if I had to do that, I'd probably shoot myself.
but like imagine in 3 weeks, eradication was genuinely on the cards because Australia did it, New Zealand did it.
Yeah.
The only reason that they're cropping up is because the other countries didn't eradicate it, and now it's coming back in because
People are
politics.
traveling there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if the UK had squished their numbers down like Australia and New Zealand did, or if every country had done
Yeah.
that, and I know that then you got like primary care, you got people in homes, you got all of this stuff. But ultimately, the government wasn't respected enough. And I think there is a correlation between in Australia, maybe not so much now. Scott Morrison is highly regarded by his people, and then Jacinta in New Zealand is hugely regarded. There's almost an element of respect to your government leaders as much as you would then agree to do what they're saying.
Like, of course, I'm going to listen to him.
Yeah,
He knows what he's on about.
And in the UK, like
He's a bit of a bumbler.
Boris was laughing stock.
Nah, he's a
Theresa May
bumbler.
was a fucking laughing stock.
Yeah.
Like when was the last
Good
time?
dancer, though.
Yeah. Like when was the last time people were truly proud of their prime minister?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Tony Blair?
Yeah. Well, Spitting Image was around when he was around, so you fuck Tony Blair. I don't even know any of those around that. Gordon Brown,
Gordon Brown?
John Major, because he was in Spitting Image, Grey.
Yeah, like and you just think to yourself, like, we could have done more. And someone said to me a couple of weeks ago, because I've got vested interest in events because I'm running them, there are a lot of people that didn't want to see events go or happen, mostly because they're bitter little cunts that people are going to actually start doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I said to people, I was like, are you stupid? Like, people are not going home after these socially distanced pubs.
Oh, the fuck.
For the last, few months, people go there, they're like, excuse me, sir, wear your mask to go for a piss. You're like, fuck off, I'm sat on the table next to someone. They go, but the scientific evidence shows that if you
stand up, you catch COVID.
Yeah, but not even that, 2 meters away. And then they're like, you got to wear your mask when you have a piss or whatever. I was saying to people, like,
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we went to a service station a while ago, and Mac Reader, producer Mark, went for a piss. Do you know when you stand in the urinal and spat with a mask on all over his own face? And then we were talking about this. Like, I can't remember the last time I had a piss in the urinal. I didn't spit in the urinal. It's quite a difficult thing to do.
It's probably like Pavlov's dog. You've conditioned yourself so much to do it.
Mate, it's unbelievable. He said, I'm just spat all over your face.
It's to the point about the guy.
Yeah,
for a
sorry,
piss,
mate.
is
Sorry,
like,
bro. Sorry.
But like, I was saying, people are just going back and having house parties, right? People are, and you got to be so fucking naive to think that people aren't. So you've got maybe, even if it's only 12, 15 people in a house, they shut all the windows because they don't want any air circulation because noise will get out.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, events are going to fuck the country. You're like, fuck off. People are doing this anyway. It's just going on behind closed
We're
doors.
going to have to cover what regional accent that was in a second. It sounded like Leeds, actually.
That one's a bit Yorkshire.
Yeah,
Maybe a
Yorkshire.
bit, yeah. That's a bit,
Barnsley.
yeah.
The Barnsley. Also, how was Friday? That's where we started this off. How was Friday? Were you nervous?
Not really.
Why not?
I only, first of all, when I get there, I want to make sure everything from a technical standpoint, projector's working, got my clicker, everything's on charge, iPad's charged, whatever.
Yeah.
Then we have fun before the event. And I don't like having too much fun because I don't want to fatigue myself.
Yes.
Like, I'm sure you're well aware, like you want to give all your energy at the right time.
Yeah.
Even to the point I had some friends backstage, and London's always a tough one because you got most of your mates there.
Mhm.
And like, there was a point where I just had to say to my friends, like, fuck off. Like, just leave Darren and myself because we got an hour till we go out. We just don't want to fucking have people around. We just want to sit and chill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Event went incredibly well, both sides of it. Do you know what? I had a couple of gin and tonics on Thursday,
Mhm.
and when I was looking at the iPad, I was a fraction of a second slower reading just to check my cues. On
Really?
Friday, I was like, I'm not drinking. So like, I didn't drink the whole of the event.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe the effect of like 1 or 2 gin and tonics. And so probably the rest of the tour now, I'll do it completely sober. And yeah, it just went really well. The
When's
crowd,
the tour finish? Here?
September.
I think it finishes in Newcastle,
Yeah.
which also just happens to be my birthday.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go out
Yeah,
afterwards.
there we go. There we go.
It's been it's fucking crazy because let's say September, pretty much nearly November when I released the book.
Yeah.
10 months later. So we had to push everything
Still
back.
doing the tour.
I tell you what's genius as well is that we put the tickets on sale in the middle of lockdown.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, why the fuck are you selling ticket events?
Well, mate, do you know, I love that this has blew up. Not just because you're my mate, but because yous have took, like, all that tour thing is a fucking risk. You know what I mean? Like, there's not many people who are saying, we're going to go and fucking do this. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many big companies, and there's even so many great speakers and even comedians in that who are like, oh, we'll just stay behind Zoom. You know what I'm saying?
But now it's a very tough time to sell tickets. So we put the tickets on really audaciously, maybe like Christmas last year.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But no one else is selling tickets. So you sell
Yeah.
the tickets and we say to people, if we change the date or it's postponed and you can't make the new date, we'll refund you.
Yeah.
We had a venue contact us saying, have you told people your new dates? And we said, yeah. They said only 1% of people have refunded.
Mhm.
We're like, okay. They were like, the industry average is 10 to 20% on a date change. I was like, well, they must want to fucking come to the tour.
Yeah.
So even though some of the events we pushed back twice, 98% of people kept their tickets. So
That's crazy.
that in
insane.
itself is amazing. But
Yeah.
now, the last couple of weeks, there's been real uncertainty for events, COVID, pandemic, all of this shit.
Yeah.
And like across a huge like array of different events, people aren't buying tickets. But now that the restrictions have lifted, the comedians, the people, the clubs, they're like, oh, let's go on tour. Or they'll see what we did on Friday and they'll be like, let's go out. But they're now in a very competitive space with massive uncertainty. They kind of fucked it a bit by leaving it so late.
Yeah.
And
And they're all wanting to book
Yeah.
venues at the same fucking time in as short a time frame as possible.
And now venues have got this power trip. You know, like how many holiday destinations have got a power trip now? Oh, you want to come to Casa de la Bifa? So does every cunt from your country.
Man, do you know what's funny? I think that in the last lockdown, I mean, I got 3 holidays last year. I went to fucking Tenerife, I went to fucking Corfu, and I went to Dubai last year, which is mad. I'm sure that some of those countries were fucking lying about the numbers. I mean, no one was going to Greece still last year. Well, Greece fucking fell on its arse. And then last summer, every cunt went to Greece. I was like, surely these are lying about the numbers.
And
It's mad, and everyone went there. And there was just Portugal as well. Loads of people went to Portugal. I'm like, who's fucking lying about these? Do you know what I mean? Like, how can these have such low numbers that everyone's now going there on holiday?
it's crazy because the powers that be have got full control over whether or not they
Release the
declare
numbers.
release the numbers.
Yeah.
Like, so you got like political kind of influence from that. And not only that, like it's still bullshit that people are reporting the numbers. What do we as a nation? You're told to wear a mask, wash your hands. Wash your hands as well. You know, people should be doing that. But this whole hand sanitizer shit, right? It's an airborne fucking disease that goes in your lungs or up your nose. Is there a chance you could get it on your hands and do it? Yeah, but it comes from people breathing in rooms. Walking into shopping centres and having compulsory hand sanitizer. I'm like, fuck off. Like most of them stink like shit.
I hate that compulsory shit.
And
yeah.
they, but what I do is when they like go to put it in my hands, I start rubbing them already, going thank you, and just walk past, and they're not really sure.
They've
They're
done
like,
it so many times.
yeah, they're like, what did I do that? But like once people have got their safe practices, the only reason they report numbers is like fear mongering.
Yeah.
And although I agree with some of the fear mongering, like there's a few stories this week, like of people in hospital embarrassed they didn't get vaccinated, anti-vaxxers that are in ICU. They're like, oh, I should have got the vaccine. They're like, these people are begging for the vaccine as they die. And part of me is like, oh, I like that propaganda because it backs up my bias.
Yeah, yeah.
But a lot of the news, I
Are
try
you
to,
getting a lot of shit off the anti-vaxxers?
not really, because I think a lot of them have come around.
Already fucked off?
You know, or like, they've never got strong arguments. And I think there's so much uncertainty. And I mean,
Well, I think they were probably vegan as well, and which means they're already not following you.
Do you know what?
Sorry, yeah, that's just got me loads of people unfollowed.
I-
Sorry.
but then I'd love to know the percentage of vegans that are not really doing it for the ethical standpoint. They're doing it as part of like a crusade of, being better than people,
Yeah,
like a virtue,
yeah,
like kind of chasing.
yeah.
I saw a really interesting breakdown of the side effects from the vaccine, and some of them are quite scary. But when they did large controlled trials on the vaccine, they then stacked up the percentages of the side effects for people that had it and the people that didn't.
Mhm.
And the percentages of the horrible side effects are very similar in both. So, say some people ended up with like tremors and really bad, like fucking severe conditions. Some people that had the placebo also got those. Being a human being, very bad things can happen to you by chance. Like Bell's palsy, for instance. One of my clients got Bell's palsy in the gym just from being stressed.
Is that where your face starts to change?
Side of his face just
Yeah, one of
collapsed.
my clients recently just kind of got over it.
And it's a life changing
She did
condition.
a video every single day, and it was mad the change.
He was one of my most influential PT clients. And he comes in and he goes, James, I've got £2 million in my bank account, in my current account, and I can't fucking use one side of my face. Like, and he said his eye wouldn't stop watering
Mhm.
for months. And so you can imagine that these things can happen to people normally. If you had the vaccine a week before, you're going to think it was the vaccine.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go on Instagram and go, hey guys, I don't mean to, put you off putting the vaccine, but I had it last week and my face has collapsed.
Yeah.
Those posts spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
You have cardiac arrest, random adult death syndrome. People die from random adult death syndrome.
Mhm.
You get that, but you had the vaccine a week before. Considering you just vaccinated 70 million people,
Yeah.
a lot of these stories are going to spread like wildfire, and people are going to go, I don't want the vaccine because my face might collapse. I don't want the vaccine or I might die. I don't want the vaccine or I have this. And you've got to, it's only when you see that in the control groups. And a friend of mine works in a hospital in Sydney, and she was saying that the people that have the placebo are kicking off like, oh my God, I've never felt like this before. And they're there, they can't let on and tell them about the placebo because it'll ruin the experiment.
Fucking hell.
It's mad, isn't it? So like,
That's wild.
it is confirmation bias. If you're sat in a camp where you think that you're worried about the vaccine, all you need to do is look for stories that back it up.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult for people to think that millions of people are in a better position from it. And I said this to Alima as well. The death of one is a tragedy. The death of millions is a statistic. That's why when you watch adverts for donating money to Africa, it's not about a million people that are broke. It's about one person.
One person. Yeah.
They take the one person and they
Yeah.
tell their story.
Yeah.
Because if you see one person that's had an adverse side effects to a placebo or to a vaccine, you can't fathom or compare that to 30 million people that are now at a much lower risk of dying from COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it makes it more personal, yeah.
Mm.
Makes it more personal. Funny enough, did you see Joe Rogan's post yesterday when he was on the fucking
Oh, the Twin Towers.
on the Twin
and the fucking-
Towers? I read a few of that was an entertaining comments section. But some people were saying that, like, listen, you've I'm sorry for your loss in that, but this actually wasn't a joke about people dying. I thought he'd get cancelled for posting that. I thought, and funny enough, I went to show Mac it today, or the guy here, and I was like, I didn't think it'd still be up.
But this is the thing. I really admire Joe Rogan for his uncancelable nature because, at the end of the day, what they can do, even if he got dropped from UFC, Dana's not going to drop him. Dana's going to be like, fuck off. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
And he's not, it wouldn't matter that much to him, I'm sure, anyway.
Dana and Joe are good friends,
Yeah.
I imagine. And also, Joe Rogan's commentary is so important to the UFC because of that. But
Yeah.
this is what I hate about any comedic kind of content where whoever created that meme and sent it to him
Mhm.
or that picture isn't trying to mock the deaths of the people that died in 9/11.
Trying to mock Joe?
Trying to mock Joe by saying no matter what tragic event would happen,
Yeah.
Joe Rogan would comment afterwards because
Yeah.
Conor McGregor broke his leg, should not have done a post-fight interview.
Yeah.
And he's there with a microphone in his face.
Yeah.
And then there's another one with Jesus on the cross. Now, again, Jesus on the cross, that isn't quite so offensive.
Yeah.
Like, some people are, it's fictitious character, other people, whatever. And like, I'm sure a few Christians were like, oh, this is insensitive.
Yeah.
But the 9/11, yes, thousands of people died. It was tragic. But, he wasn't making fun of that. No one was making fun of the people that died. They were making fun of really, really, really bad situation that rocked the world. Joe Rogan interviewing them after. And
Yeah.
I hate that we've lost this, ability.
You know, it must be
to joke.
hard being a comedian these days. It must be quite fucking hard being a comedian. I'm sure comedians that were even around 10 years ago can't even make jokes now.
Do you remember The In-Betweeners?
Yes.
I watched that recently, and there's a bit that's like, oh, Neil's dad, Bender, and then like they'll do something, and then Jay will be like, oh, gay,
Yeah.
and like, or even
Yes.
actually in Afterlife as well, one of Ricky Gervais's characters, his dad with dementia. So I really love you, Dad, gay,
Oh, he's class.
and like people find that funny. It's got nothing to do with offending homosexuals or like or people that are gay. That they've missed the joke there again. But when you watch these now, you look back and you go, well, you couldn't say that
Oh,
now.
mate, some of it's mad.
And
Some of it's crazy. In fact, the bummed thing, Chris Ramsey got thrown off fucking Soccer AM for saying something about bumming your dad or something. Got thrown off. And that was actually quite a while ago. But now I'm thinking, fuck me. Nothing's like, it must be very difficult to come up with jokes where you think,
I've seen
I can actually say that.
today on Instagram, you've now got a sensitive content filter.
Dude, I saw that. Let's talk about that.
So-
Let's shoot that.
so
'Cause
now
I could be fucked. Nah, I'll be fine, mate.
So basically, the powers that be, there's a few things that have annoyed me with like Instagram. Well, the first one they buckled to was about the pronouns. So
Yeah.
with the pronouns, I believe there's like 70, maybe more different pronouns now. And the reason that people started putting them in their bios was to create a safer environment for trans populations to put their pronouns,
Mhm.
because it can be a very daunting situation, I'm sure, for people that have had gender transition to be misgendered.
Mhm.
And, you know, I suppose there's malice misgender and there's accidental misgender.
Mhm.
Now, if it's malice, that is unacceptable. Like someone, you know, not regarding your personal situation. But then there are accidental ones. I still think we should have a bit of leeway where if you would say, oh, madame, and they go, excuse me, I'm a man. Oh, I do apologize. Sir, can you come this way or whatever it is?
Yeah.
But then every corporation saw this.
Sometimes you still make that mistake where you call someone mate. And
Or,
it's a woman.
okay,
I
mate,
get that all the time. I send an email and they open the line and say mate, and I get loads of emails back saying don't call me mate.
even
Women,
when
I'm like, what?
I
Why
get,
can't?
I get comments and they won't make clear, like, you know, it might say like, I don't know, mad about rabbits as an Insta tag. I'm like, oh, bro, sorry about that. And they were like, don't call me bro, I'm a woman. And I was like, oh,
How are you supposed to tell
it's
with
a
that
private
fucking stupid
profile.
Instagram name as well? It's not even your name on the Instagram.
And you got like a cartoon in there. So I think a lot of corporations then were like, right, Hinge put in pronouns, Tinder put in pronouns, LinkedIn put in pronouns, then Instagram came and put that in. And when you look at what percentage of the population around the world or Instagram users are trans, you realize that this is a big movement for a small population of people. And that doesn't make it wrong or right.
Yeah.
But, you know, we haven't seen this for very other, you know, small populations of people.
Mhm.
And then that kind of came. And when it was like, hey, do you want to add a pronoun to your bio? I did feel like that's almost like virtue signaling from businesses.
Yeah.
Like businesses like, hey, we may make billions of dollars a year, but we want to make sure that you guys feel, you know, included. Like,
Yeah.
and every business kind of folds for that. But then the second bit here, this sensitivity filter. Obviously, you know, they're like, oh, a few people are offended online. We don't want people offended on our platform because at Instagram, we're here to deliver perfect or whatever it is.
Mhm.
So you got now whether or not you limit, everyone automatically was put on a slight limit of offensive content.
Do you think this? Do you think this whole on all this racist abuse has contributed to that?
Maybe.
Because that's the Premier League in particular have been going after the fucking, and the FA have been going after the social media platforms saying you gotta be doing more, you gotta be doing more. Do you think that's linked to it?
Well, I put this in my post today. I said, hey guys, by the way, maybe me calling you people cunts is going to stop me from appearing on your newsfeed. Since the update, my story views significantly dropped.
Really?
Yeah. So whether or not it's swearing, you know, and again, it's pretty pathetic. People are offended by swearing.
Mhm.
So I put that out there and someone goes, oh my God, as if the same guy who told us that we should have verification for social media is saying that we shouldn't be censored. And I was like, yeah, verification and censorship are very different. And
Mhm.
where people are going after racists, I think there should be some element of verification.
Yes, me too.
Car Next Door, which I use in Australia, if I want to borrow someone's car, I have to upload my driving license, an ID, and a passport so that if I steal the fucking car, I can be held liable for it. Now, with Twitter and with Instagram, even if at first.
Mate, I can't even go, you know them Cineworld cards?
Yeah.
They won't even let me in without fucking showing that anymore. What, you book it in advance, like you got your card. I'm like, oh fucking hell.
Just to prove you're not taking the piss.
And it has to have a photo on it now.
Well,
It's mad.
imagine if social media, even you could, there are so many levels to this where you go, look, you don't need any verification until you have a misdemeanor or several misdemeanors. If your comments are reported 3 times for being inappropriate or whatever, we now need verification from you for these 3 misdemeanors. Now, when you conduct yourself on social media, please know that your government are aware of your identification and if you travel to other states, they will too. Because then you could take these people who made these racist or inappropriate comments or whatever it is. It's not that people can find other people. It's so that if the state needs to step in the same way it would with anything else. I got arrested when I was 13. I know my fingerprints are still kept. I didn't get convicted for anything. I know the fucking police have still got my fingerprints, right? Cool. It's part of the parcel, you know. You get arrested, they get your data.
Is that why you came in with gloves on?
What's that?
Is that why you came in with gloves on? He's got super glue on the end of his fingertips.
Well, I mean, I don't see why the problem is with this. And
It can't be that hard.
No.
And it can't cost them money. Because that's what I'm like, how could it? Why would they not do it?
And again,
Surely it can't cost them money. That's the only reason why they wouldn't do it.
it can make
Because it might cost them money.
it can make the internet a safer place for people to use it.
100%.
And people think it's very authoritarianism. And they said, oh, it's funny that, you know, you think verification is okay, but censorship isn't. And I was like, look, people should be allowed to swear. And again, my content is now getting hidden from people that follow me. Do you know how fucking crazy
That's
that is?
crazy. Yeah.
Someone goes, hey, I like what you have to say. I'm going to follow your page.
Mhm.
Oh, but now Instagram goes, we know you want to hear from him, but he swears. He called someone a cunt.
Did you know this?
He mentioned the vaccine.
Yeah.
And again, like a lot of people say, oh, but
Did you know he eats his burger and then eats his vegetables?
yeah, exactly.
That's the weirdest thing
yeah.
I talked to someone about this the other day and I mentioned you.
What burger than
Did you know
vegetable?
James Smith, when he gets a Nando's, eats the chicken first,
Yeah.
then eats the vegetables?
Yeah, bit by bit. Macho peas and creamy mash. Here you go.
Oh, Mike. Do you like creamy mash?
Yeah.
No
Only-
way.
Yeah, I put the peas on top of it. Only if I'm like dieting or bored of chips. If I eat chips, I feel like a dirty little prick.
Yeah.
If I've had chips and I've trained twice that day, I'll have it. Or
That's
if it's
fine.
dinner or I'm
Yeah.
hungover. But if I'm looking Monday, Tuesday and I'm having a little Nando's, I'm not having chips on a Monday or Tuesday.
Mate, it's the order that I'm worried about.
But here you go. Right, this is something I explained to Darren. Darren goes for double chicken pitta.
So would I.
I think there's too much chicken in that pitta.
I take one of the chickens out.
Well, let me change. But this is where I'm at, okay? I go for a single chicken pitta twice. So there's two
Oh,
pittas,
you are.
two chicken breasts. From a price point, right? It's like £7 for one.
Yeah.
It's like £8-9 for two. It's
Yeah.
like £12 for two completely separate pittas. Then I drop the pitta and hummus from the starter.
Mhm.
Same price. I get to enjoy what I want to eat twice over.
And a pitta's only 150 calories.
Exactly. Bit of coleslaw.
Jeez, bro.
And then suddenly someone's like, chips.
That's just melted me head.
Someone's like, do you want chips? Not tonight. I'm not eating like a cunt. And I got two chicken pittas there. A couple of olives, Diet Coke.
Jeez.
There you go.
What you saying about pineapple in a chicken pitta?
You know what? If people want to put pineapple in stuff, it's fine. Do you know what I hate, right? I hate smelly shit chat. And sorry to target all of women, but a lot of women, me and my mates, we have fun. Like, I'm not even proactive on Hinge, but I'll go on it and I'll screen record just to, like, me and my mates in Sydney, the boys that live there
What's Hinge?
it's like a dating app. It's like the new Tinder.
All right, it's a new Tinder.
But my mates that live in Sydney are virgins. Like, they're not really, but they're just shit chat, whatever.
Yeah.
So we use the app sometimes and we'll just see what's like the smelliest chat we can come across and send it to each other.
Yeah.
Not being mean,
Yeah.
but like, just like, oh my God, look at this, whatever. But anyway, a lot of girls on there, like so you get pictures
Mhm.
to describe yourself.
Mhm.
And then you can also have like little cues. My most irrational fear is the wooden spoon inside a lollipop. Or they'll go, my most controversial opinion is pineapple on pizza.
Mate, is Lesley on there? She fucking hates them wooden things.
Or maybe
The
it
wooden
is.
things in a lolly, she hates
She
it.
might have an alias. But so when people are on there, I'm like, this is your way to start an open conversation with someone that you ideally want to have sex with.
Yeah.
How is pineapple on pizza controversial? It's called a fucking Hawaiian. It's in every single pizza place. Every single pizza place, are we going to keep a pineapple on hand? Of course they're going to keep a fucking pineapple on hand in case someone wants a Hawaiian. Like, do you not understand the levels of how smelly that is for chat? Someone's
Terrible.
going, fuck me, she's got banter. Why is that? Because her most controversial opinion is pineapple on fucking pizza. Like, that's so...
I think she lives, laughs, and loves as well.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
reckon she lives, laughs, and loves.
I'm looking for someone who loves dogs. Like, what who the fuck like goes out, my name's Dave, I hate dogs. Like, no one. Like, absolutely no one. It's the worst. And this is concerning as well.
Mate, to be fair, I'm not a dog man. Am I?
But do you
Mate, I
hate,
tell you, I don't hate them.
Yeah,
I
but
hate
you
cats, though.
no, if
arseholes.
as long as you don't hate
Cats are
them.
fucking arseholes.
If you look at a cat, like, irrespective of size, when they look at you, you know that if they were bigger, they'd eat you and kill you.
They look at you like they don't like you.
Yeah.
Even when they want food.
And I guarantee if that cat could increase its size 15-fold, it would go, all right, you're dead. But then,
And they'd still stick their arsehole in your face first.
yeah, exactly.
That they love doing that, eh? Here's my arsehole.
The other thing that while I'm on a rant about dating apps, you know, I'm sure people have had selfies you before at events and they go Snapchat and use a filter.
I love it, mate. I love a selfie.
Yeah, but not when they use fucking Snapchat filters.
I don't know what that was.
So basically, they use a filter.
Did it make
on
you look
Snapchat.
better?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Like blurs your face. And you've seen this, right? Do you use Hinge? And like when you're on it, you see girls now at the moment, they're like, the amount of them that have got Facetune.
Oh yeah,
or
mate, I have
filters.
been on Instagram and I've been on a school run, and I'm like, Lesley, it'll actually be Lesley looking through her Instagram or her Facebook. I'm like, who's that? She's like, oh, so and so's mum. I'm like, that's fucking not so and so's mum. That's not fucking Charlie's mum. That
It's fucking false advertising. And we've
it's
seen it in
unbelievable.
fitness
Aye, it's
for
unbelievable.
years. And some people, like, even when they story, they use the same filter every time.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Tyson Fury's quite bad for that. Like, did you
Is
notice
he?
that? I went through this little phase of he had his eyes like bright blue or something.
like, I get it for like banter or a joke or everything
Yeah.
and then, but people, if you live seeing that as your reflection, you'll start to believe it's true.
Yeah.
And then you see yourself in the mirror and you'll be disheartened. Like,
Unless you use that filter with the one with the floppy nose. I fucking love that one, me.
do you not see the issues though with people using
Oh,
that
totally.
to identify themselves on a dating app where you literally are just trying to show people who you are to try and find a companion?
Yeah.
Like, that's fucked.
But
Like,
then they're fucked surely you're fucked on the first date.
yeah, you're gonna get
You're gonna
found
be, who's
out,
that? Who?
or they're gonna have to wear
That's
enough
not you.
makeup to try and mimic the
Yes.
filter that they use.
Yeah.
And I think that again, if you're a business owner or whatever, if you're having to cover your fucking face in a bid to, that's not okay.
Yeah.
Just be yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
What are you saying about guys using makeup?
so,
You've seen these ads for this fucking, and the worst part is they call it war paint.
so I had makeup first time going on TV.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's a bit, and afterwards I was like, this looks amazing. Right, like to reduce a bit of forehead shine when you know you're going to be on set or on TV, it's actually quite nice.
Yeah.
But then they go, do you want me to take the makeup off? I'm like, no, I'll go home and record a video. But it becoming a regular thing, like,
What are you saying about on a night out, guys put makeup on? I'm not having it.
mate, it's pretty bad.
I'm not having it.
And again, just be yourself. And imagine if you've probably seen this at events where you hug a girl and then someone's like, what's that on your top? And their whole like cheek of makeup's like left on your collar or something like that.
Mate, I'm still dealing with that thing that you do where you put your deodorant on, put your t-shirt on, you get that. I fucking hate that.
Deodorant coming in
Oh,
through
I hate it. Do you know what I mean? I hate it.
But it's yeah, to me, like, I'm not actually a massive fan of makeup. I can understand why people wear it, but like too much is an issue. Guys wearing it is probably a bit of an issue. Like, where can we not just draw the line at owning what you have?
Mm-hmm.
And if you've got a couple of spots, first of all, just own it. I've got a spot. Like, what, you never had a spot before? Suck out. And then again, if you are getting spotty all the time, maybe go see a doctor or sort your diet out or get more sunlight or, take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm. Well, you get asked about your hair a lot, don't you?
Yeah,
I've
I get
noticed
shit about my hair all the time. People
I
say
don't think it's...
people say I'm going bald. I've been having this for 10 years. I've got a big forehead and I probably will recede as I get older. But like,
A lot of rugby players have big foreheads, though. I've noticed that before.
I'm about to blow your mind. So I know why.
You can't blow me mind more than fucking double chicken, pinning the double chicken pin off.
So the characteristics for high levels of testosterone,
Yeah.
deep voice, facial hair, male pattern balding, big shoulders, traps, development, muscle mass, aggression. These are all like,
Stiffy in the morning.
yeah. And then if you take loads of testosterone, you get your shoulders and traps blow up.
Yeah.
That's where you got most like androgen receptors, they're called. So testosterone, women find attractive in a male, all of it. And when I say aggression, it's not just like, oh, you want to fight. It's like, I'm going to get up, do this podcast, do this, smash this, whatever.
Purpose in it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and again, like in spring, when the sun first starts coming out, you're like, right, okay, let's fucking have it in life. Let's shaggy misses more, whatever.
I mean,
it is.
that's what you like on holiday.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm on holiday, I'm a fucking walking stiffy,
more,
which is a problem with
more
two
sunlight, vitamin D, which is a precursor of testosterone. Now, growth hormone, again, is indicative of shoulder to waist ratio,
Yeah.
big shoulders, small waist. Also, forehead and jaw, big forehead, big jaw. So if you look at action heroes that are
Mhm.
depicted
Mhm.
in cartoons, they've always got a massive forehead, massive
Johnny
jaw.
Bravo.
Johnny Bravo, Superman,
Yeah.
even in American Dad, even in Family Guy, the characters, the ways that cartoons depict high level of growth hormone, massive forehead. Look at Jamie Roberts, Welsh centre, fucking massive,
Yeah,
got the biggest forehead in the
That's
world.
a napper.
Right. So
Yeah.
people then think rugby players have got big foreheads, but you could argue that people with high levels of growth hormone play rugby. People that have high levels of testosterone play rugby.
Yeah.
If you were to take a sample of 100 rugby players in the UK, you've either got big shoulders, they're dense, they got muscle mass, they've
Yeah.
got big foreheads, big jaws, big bone structures,
Big quads.
and big shoulder to waist ratios.
Yeah.
So I then believe that most people that have those attributes go to school to participate in sports. They're shit at football, end up playing rugby because they're good at rugby, but they didn't pick their sport picked them.
That's interesting.
If you are, if you lack testosterone and you haven't got much muscle mass and you therefore don't respond when you do gym training, you'll probably end up doing running because it's a sport that favors your build. And again, with swimmers, you put 100 people in a swimming pool, the 5 top body types for swimming will enjoy it the most because they're the best at it.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
people go, oh, you've got big shoulders because you're a swimmer. No, you swim because you've got big shoulders. Oh, you play rugby. You're big and broad because you play rugby. No, you play rugby because you're big and broad.
Yeah.
You're athletic and agile. Are you from playing football? They're going, I play football because I'm athletic and agile.
Did you? Did I hear recently you are making a rugby comeback of some sort?
Yeah, in a few weeks. About 3 weeks, yeah.
What is it?
Sevens.
What, are you going to play all the time?
I also, yeah.
Or is it a comp or something?
No, so it's a rugby sevens tournament.
Yeah.
I'm playing in a social league for a team I used to play with in Dubai.
Yeah.
And like touring a bit. But
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go start doing 15s as well.
Oh shit!
Just for a bit of fun, like not top grade.
Yeah.
I played semi-pro a few years ago.
Yeah.
But just to have a bit of fun. Just like I do so much jiu-jitsu. I watched some rugby recently and it got me a bit excited. I could go play a game and go, fuck this.
Yeah.
But I thought it'd just be quite cool just to go out.
It'd be interesting to see what your DOMs are like after. Eh?
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. And part of me still thinks that I could still have like a few more games in it. And everyone's like, oh, you're worried about getting injured. And I was like, jiu-jitsu is pretty ferocious. Like rugby would just be
Fucking tell me about it.
good cardio.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was meant to play in a football match last Saturday. No, Sunday. It was mad. There was this ex-Middlesbrough players against celebrities, and I got a message saying, "Do you want to play on the celebrity team?" I was like, "Fucking celebrity!" With that James Arthur.
Okay.
But apparently he was a prick, and he wanted all his mates to play, and he was trying to pick the team and that, so it got completely cancelled, which I was kind of disappointed about, but also relieved because after a game of football, I'd need a week off work. Me,
Like,
it's a lot of running, isn't it?
well, like, so I've started running a bit. I probably do 8K twice a week.
Really?
Just go for a little trot around Richmond Park. Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, I'm all right. Like, I just put in an audiobook and just go run.
What are you listening to right now? Sorry, this is the third time.
Listen to a book called, just did one.
Sorry,
It's called
just so I can explain, we've recorded that particular question 3 times. I know that James is going to say attached,
and don't know the author.
and he doesn't know who the author is. How was it?
Yeah, it's quite insightful. So, Shona, one of my exes, did a podcast with her. She sat down and she goes, "You need to read this."
Yeah.
And it's about attachment styles with intimacy.
Okay.
So you have anxious, avoidant, and secure.
Mhm.
Now, most of the people in the dating pool are going to be avoidant or anxious.
Yeah.
Because all the secure people are in relationships. So, if you get that, and considering that most secure people are in relationships long term.
Also, they're probably not looking. Anyone that's not in a relationship probably isn't going out looking for someone else to give them security.
So if you look at the people that have got a failed history of failed relationships, they're usually anxious or avoidant.
Mhm.
Now, putting anxious and avoidant together is really bad because of just the way they react. Now, I'm avoidant.
Mhm.
I have tendencies for some of the anxious parts, but I'm very avoidant. And I see intimacy as giving up freedoms.
Mhm.
Now, I need my own space. And after reading this book, I realized my most successful relationships have been with girlfriends that don't live near me.
Mhm.
So I saw a girl that lived 2.5 hours away. We never had problems. And then I dated a girl in Norway.
Mhm.
And we'd just go see each other. Like she'd come London, I'd go there. But she played rugby for the Norwegian national team. So we'd play in Dubai, Copenhagen. We'd be like in Sweden. She'd be like, "Oh, cool, I'll see you in Dubai. Then I'll see you in Copenhagen." Then I was like, "Why don't you come London? Then I'll come Norway."
Mhm.
And because of that, I got to have my space to be me, but then I got to have space to be with
Yeah.
her as well.
Yeah.
So then a lot of the time, an anxious person wants reassurance that they're loved. So they will
Yes.
then often act in something called protesting behavior, where they'll create like an argument or an issue for no apparent reason. It's often nothing to do with the thing they're saying they're arguing about. They'll do it, but the avoidant will then just back off and be like, "Oh, you're doing my head in." So then the more the anxious person creates a fuss to get the attention of the avoidant backs off more.
Mhm.
And this is where the relationship starts to break down.
Mhm.
Because the more, I've had this actually with quite a lot of girls that I date, the more crazy they start acting, the more I'm like, I can't be fucking dealing with this. Now, that was a problem 5, 10 years ago. Now that I've got so much work, things I could be doing in my spare time, that I can function very well on my own. And when you do the questionnaire in the book, it's like, do you like going on holiday on your own? I was like, yes. And then like when I do the score, it's like, you are fucking avoidant. Uh, because I have so much else going on in my life, I'm becoming ultra avoidant to the point I needed to read the book and understand why I'm becoming like this.
I was just going to say, what the fuck are you going to do about it then?
Well, it's very difficult. First of all, I need to identify when I find someone if they're anxious or they have anxious tendencies.
Yeah.
If they're avoidant, it will just fizzle out after a few dates, and a
Yeah.
couple of bangs,
Yeah.
because neither one of us could be fucked to
Yes.
like do anything with it.
Yeah.
And finding a secure person is very difficult. But when you first interact with a secure person, there's not the fireworks like there is with an anxious person.
Mm.
Because when the both of you pretty much, when you're not matched for each other, you get very excited.
It's
'Cause
probably a real different energy as well.
it is, yeah. When you come across someone secure, they can often seem like quite boring,
Mhm.
and you can overlook them and go, "Oh, this doesn't feel like XXX."
It doesn't feel like they're attracted to you, I bet, either.
Yeah, because they're
Yeah.
quite chilled. They're
Yeah.
not chasing you.
Yeah.
They're not like, and that honeymoon period when you're with someone anxious, they want to see you all the time. You want to see them all the time,
Mhm.
and then yeah, so often it's that misconception that if there aren't fireworks when you meet someone, they could be a perfect compatible
Mm.
partner, which is why most people that are in successful relationships, they probably met through some kind of like neutral, they worked together or there was a
Mhm.
friend's friend or they sat next to someone at a wedding or whatever it is.
Mhm.
It's really given me like a new light of the dating pool as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And I'm 32 now. How old are you when you had your first kid?
31.
Okay.
31. Max is 10. I'm 41 this year, so.
So there's,
No, I was 30. I was 30 when Max was born.
and in my mind, I think like 30 to 35 is probably the prime time.
Yeah.
But then I want to be with someone for probably a couple of years before I put a baby in them.
Mhm.
So like now I'm like, oh, James, you probably got to take that part of your life a bit more serious.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I'll end up being the mate out of the group who's got the most money and the most followers, but with no family, no wife.
Yeah.
I'm probably sniffing myself inside out each weekend.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
But having to
I
do
was
with
just-
really young people because all your mates have grown up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's a terrible thing
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah, but like, I think I'm wise enough to appreciate that being 40 and fucking 22-year-old models probably isn't, that's pleasure. It's not happiness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
even snorting lines off a model's ass in Vegas, that's pleasure, but it's not happiness. Having a missus at home who looks banging without any makeup on and rocks around the house in Lululemon leggings, giving me shit,
Mhm.
and me having an argument with her and then, having sex with her before bed, and that's happiness.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the
Smelling that fart and that.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like just that's the kind of thing. So like in my mind, I'm always conscious of that. And I had to realize that although I banter about it's always their fault.
Yeah.
That, like, fixed and growth mindset.
Yeah.
Carol Dweck, you read that?
Yeah.
I'm very, if you said, James, we need to make 10 grand in the next hour,
Mhm.
I'm like, easy, let's do this.
Yeah.
But then in a relationship, especially being avoidant, when something goes wrong, I'm very fixed in my ways and it's always their fault.
Mhm.
They need to go, fuck you. So like, it's one of those things where I've got to kind of change my mindset around it.
Mhm.
But discovering the issue is half the problem.
Yeah. Right now, you're busy as fuck, right?
Well, I definitely have enough time for a serious relationship. Definitely, 100%. I have a lot of downtime.
Mhm.
And downtime's always a bit better when you've got someone to do it with.
Yes.
Watching a film on your own is fucking depressing. Watching a film with someone else, even if you've just had a big argument, it's better.
Yeah.
But there's the excuse that you're busy and all of this stuff. But ultimately as well, there's a bit of turmoil in my life where I'm living in the UK.
Mhm.
I don't want to live in the UK.
Mhm.
I want to live in Australia.
Mhm.
I've got two problems. One, it's cold there and it's fucking locked down. Two, I don't have a visa. I signed off a tax bill the other day. They wanted $126,000. Right, let's call it 70 grand. And I'm just about to send that off. And I'm like, these cunts won't even let me live there. I'm paying this as a tax resident.
I thought you paid tax here.
In Australia, all things JSA. So for the last 4 years, I've been paying staggering amounts of tax in Australia as a tax resident.
They can't
won't-
live there.
They won't let me live there. So
Jeez.
and then I applied for PR like a year ago.
Yeah.
And they say it could take 2 years.
Shit.
So like, I'm in the UK. I don't want to meet anyone here because I don't want to live here.
Yeah.
I certainly don't want me going back to Oz, taking them, wondering if they like it,
yeah,
if they want to stay there, if they want to go on a party. I don't want any of that shit.
Yeah.
So then by the time I probably get back to Australia, I'm 33. I still might not have PR at that point.
Mhm.
So I'm like, there's all that kind of stuff. But like you say, Friday, amazing. Sell at the Roundhouse, all of that. But there's times that I've got to start working on kind of personal situations
Mhm.
and stop hiding behind the guise of being busy.
Mhm.
How many times do people say they're too busy for shit? and then I fucking spend
You know what? Sometimes, mate, if I'm in a room full of people, I probably ask this in my show. I'll say who's busy. Every cunt will put their hand up. Everyone will put. I'm very busy, but I'm busy doing shit that I love. I think you can always find a. Well, like I say, everyone will put their hand up saying they're busy.
And it's sort of running your own business as well.
But you are busy, but you're busy doing shit that you like to do as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And but then even
You
training
don't have to
jiu-jitsu,
do any of it.
I call jiu-jitsu, I'm busy, I'm training twice a day. People are like, you fucking train like a full-time athlete. Like,
Yeah.
no wonder you feel busy. But then again, there's times where if I have a couple of coffees and I'm on my phone, I'm just making shit happen.
Yeah.
And that can be addictive. And be it business success is very addictive. And I'm already in a very deep habit of replacing what should be personal, intimate time with business tasks. And like I say, if rather than looking at life as, fame, success.
You know, mate, I'm glad you brought that point up because sometimes that can happen with these podcasts. I remember the last time we came to London, it was when Darren had just got back from a tour. But I did a podcast with him, but I felt like I hadn't seen him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we did a podcast. And then at the end of the day, I was like, I haven't seen Darren for about 4 or 5 months. And I felt like I still hadn't seen him. Because you have that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, This is a bit of a crossover, innit? The last time I seen you, I don't even think we took a photo or anything.
No.
You know when we did the Ramsey thing?
Yeah.
We didn't take a photo, there was no video.
Yeah.
But that can happen, can't it?
Yeah. Because you end up being involved in the task rather than actually having deep conversations.
Yeah.
And like you end up, it becomes more about what you're doing rather than the kind of intimate side of things and talking about stuff. And I think I always love talking about problem. It's not even really a fucking problem, but like I say this in the last 3 podcasts, like I see my life as a spider diagram where I've got business, finances, friendships, family, and it goes around. And some parts of my diagram are massive, but other parts of them are quite small.
It's like one of them old school life wheels, right?
It is, yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
And people become so obsessed over my part of the pie chart that's massive.
Yeah.
And this is why, I'll never get too excited with any of that because you can't use your money and your followers to bulk up the other 2 parts, intimate relationship, potential wife, all of these things. So like, I'm always conscious.
I mean, them 2 probably help though.
They help, but then again, it's
to
very
be
dysfunctional.
fair, they could also hinder.
They also hinder. So it's a very dysfunctional scene that I'm in where I said this to someone else the other day, like I'm nearly at 1 million followers, or including social media. If you put Facebook and Insta together, it's probably like, I don't know, 1.2 million.
Yeah.
If you look at the population in the UK, which is what, 70 million or something?
I don't know why you're asking me, man.
Probably more. If you were
Jamie, pull that up.
Considering the majority of my following, 70% of them, call it 800,000.
Yeah.
My following are between 20 and 35.
Yeah.
If you start breaking it down the numbers and you reduce all the old people and all the young people, something like 1 in 30 people in the UK will follow me at my age. 1 in 30. So that's any restaurant or bar I go into across the UK. Chances are, if it's full, there's someone in there that follows me.
Yeah.
So then that is a hugely dysfunctional thing.
How is that? What's that like? Is it a bit?
It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like, how many humans in history? Fair enough, you've got millions of influencers that have got high followings now.
Yeah.
Before the internet's only 20 years old. Before that, this never existed apart from TV.
Yeah.
Then before TV, that never existed. The human psychology isn't really designed to, or it hasn't evolved to handle this. We're still primates in my mind. So it's very strange that I've got hundreds of thousands of friends I've never met.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know how weird that is, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it makes dating kind of a bit weird. And then also so 850,000 followers at the moment. For every 1,000 I gain, I lose 500. So my churn rate is huge. So even though now we're at 850, that's 1.2 really because half of them have left. So again, you got all of these things. Yeah, it's just weird because going out, meeting people, it's not the same. I remember like a year ago, chatting to a girl in the bar and I said, give me your number. It's like, sweet. 5-10 minutes later, I got 1 beer, came back, my group chat. Some of the girls I know have screenshotted that in another group chat. They're like, James just got this girl's number. I'm like, fucking hell, I haven't even texted her.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't even texted this girl.
Yeah.
And it's already in a girl's group chat in Sydney. And I was like, why? People get involved in your business.
Because
she told her friend straight away.
Yeah.
And then in a girl group chat. And then one of the girls was in my group chat and sent it around. And I'm like, fuck it. It makes it very strange. And then even other things like, if you look at the psychology of men and women, and this isn't really saying bad things about women, men are much more likely to be violent That's why the majority of murders, high percentage of murders are men. Women don't quite have the violent tendencies, so they try to create and inflict harm in other ways. And
Yeah.
damage of reputation is probably the biggest one for women.
Yeah.
So because the women can't physically, well, they can in some cases, most of the time can't physically abuse you, maul you, or assault you. They will use damage of reputation. And that's an anxiety. Any sexual encounter I have with someone, they have the potential to ruin my life. And you have that as well, which again didn't exist. At 27, I had my first selfie. I'm 32 now. Up until that point in my life, I never had to worry about baby trap, damage of reputation, and like lies travel faster than truth as well, right?
Well, when I signed the contract with HarperCollins, there was a clause in there that Luke said was the James Smith clause. Lesley looked at the contract, and I went to sign the contract, and there was something about loss of reputation, and I was like, Lesley said, "Can you ask Luke what that means?" And he was like, "Oh, that's the James clause." Yeah.
And, again, the dysfunction can come from the past as well. So I got an inbox from a girl. She said, "Hey, James, I'm in a young mums group in a certain part of the world. This girl here is claiming to be your ex." So she screenshotted it, sent it to me. And the message said, "I used to date James Smith. He's now famous. I'm thinking of selling a story to the local newspaper for money. I'm not going to keep it for myself. I'll give it to my newly born son.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?"
Yeah.
Screenshotted that.
Who the fuck even?
And like, we didn't end on the best of terms.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, right, cool." Screenshotted it, had lawyers at the ready.
Yeah.
I was like, the second if this goes out, she's getting fucking
in
a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
That's a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And like, if you've just had a kid with your husband, you don't want to be getting sued for fucking defamation. You know what I mean? With evidence that you're...
Did you see the one that... Have you seen the Wayne Rooney one yet?
Oh, yeah, about like...
the sleeping, when he was asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's mad.
someone, he's either necking on or someone's talking in his ear.
Yeah.
But once
And then there's
says,
all that... There's pictures of him asleep.
Yeah.
And she's got no gear on, but he's got all his clothes on.
Again, and like...
What the fuck's happening? I saw it and I'm like, well, I don't... It's weird. It was very weird.
It could be anything.
It could be anything.
And Darren's very good at clocking when people are taking pictures or videos of us. And he'll just shout, "Come over if you want one."
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, they're not always your fans.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, they could be in threads on the internet and, starting things. Darren actually had a picture taken of him. We won't mention where it went on the internet. And it's him.
Do I know? Have we talked about this
Yeah.
before? Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Darren with his arm around my best friend's fiance who's pregnant.
Yeah.
And the rumors online were that he was coercing young girls into, doing shit.
Fucking hell.
Sat in a pub. I was like, "Mate,
Shit.
she's pregnant. You can see
That's
she's
mad.
pregnant." And I was just like, fucking hell, like the extent people will go to make up shit. It's baffling. And it's worrying as well. So on top of all my avoidant tendencies and dysfunction in my life, I've also got to worry that, I'm one bad fucking, one bad
Dick
egg away
pic.
from...
One bad dick pic away from everyone seeing your dick.
Oh, mate, and I put that in my second book. About
Really?
sending
Did
dick
you?
pics. Yeah. Like every kid sent dick pics. You either sent dick pics or you're lying.
I used to send someone else's dick pic. Who the fuck? I used to take pictures of my dick. I mean, who wants to see that?
And everyone's like, "Oh, it's disgusting." Girls send nudes.
They
Girls
do,
send
aye.
nudes. Like horrendous amounts of nudes.
So do boys still send dick pics?
I don't
know. I'm too old for that shit.
Yeah,
But
I feel like I'm too old for that.
do you?
Even like
Well,
this is how old I am.
Max 23. Mark. Dick
Yeah, dick
pics. Still a
pics.
thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And again, like as long as they're not...
Do you think anyone's ever
unsolicited-
sent a softie? Do you think anyone's ever sent a photo of a softie? Like a flopper? Do you reckon?
No,
A flaccid
never.
penis?
What they've done is windmilled it
Yeah.
for 60... They've
Put blood in it.
They windmilled it as, and then sold it as floppy. It's
Yes.
it's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
They've windmilled it, stretch it a little bit, and then say, "Imagine this, rock hard."
I think that's part of the, and again, this isn't, guys that send unsolicited dick pics think that's wrong, but obviously, any that I've sent, I haven't fucking sent it to a random person on fucking, what was that chat forum, chat roulette. That's not the way it's done. You're like dating a girl and you're like chatting, you're not going to see her till like,
Want some of this?
yeah, or someone, whatever.
By the way, my banter's, I'm trying to come up with banter that you'd send in a dick pic, and I can't remember the last time I sent one.
Yeah, for me, it's
Yeah.
like 10, 15 years, maybe more than that, but still like,
That really?
It's part of
Shit.
growing up as a kid. Logitech webcam, whatever it was at the time.
Oh, MSN.
Yeah, it was MSN Messenger.
Yeah,
And like,
BRB.
yeah, when you mature as a teenage boy, you do dumb shit.
Fucking
You just
right.
do not have that part of the brain where you have logic.
You think with your dick?
Yeah, and I didn't at 20 fucking one, let's say.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking, oh, well, I'm probably gonna have a million followers in fucking 10 years. Who in their right mind? You'd have to be a fucking psychopath, wouldn't you? You'd have to be a psychopath, sociopath to think that's actually the case. And yeah, and this fucks me off as well that people are getting cancelled from jokes they made 10 years ago.
Oh, dude. Like, did you see the one about the cricketer that got banned from cricket because of something he said when he was 15?
No.
Oh, like he got suspended. Like an England cricketer got suspended for like 8 matches. Like 24 or something now. He posted something on Twitter when he was 15 and they suspended him from cricket.
That's ridiculous. And like, but then people are like, what are you going to do? Enforce like a 360-day, fucking time limit. Like anything you posted in the last year is liable. Like you're dumb at 16. You're fucking stupid.
Dude, I look at my posts from when you get that Facebook memories thing pop up and I'm like, Jesus, did I really fucking...
Mate, my status 10
Do you know when it
years
used
ago,
to say like Paul Mort is? And it used to say is. And then he used to fill the fucking blank in after is. I'm like, oh my God.
my status 10 years ago popped up the other day. It goes, what's the difference between a boner and a Ferrari? It goes, I haven't got a Ferrari. I'm like, how is that a fucking Facebook status?
Oh my God, that is naughty.
But like, you're different at that point. And people need to say, he was a kid, oh, he was stupid. Oh, even, fuck, imagine, what I hate is we have this reality of things on the internet and things you say off air.
Yeah.
They don't match up. Like,
No,
used to be
dude, as hard as you try,
they never match
there
up.
are some jokes that you would never see on the internet. Do you know them things that go around your WhatsApp group chat? There's some of them memes that you would only ever see on WhatsApp, isn't there?
And it's kind of funny because everyone's finding it funny.
Yeah.
Everyone's seeing the banter in it.
Yeah.
But you have this kind of like world that they can't exist in through fear
Yes.
of being cancelled.
Yeah.
And it's the reason that I think there are social justice warriors in existence is because
They're bored.
there's that, but I think also you got a lot of people for hundreds, thousands of years. You've had low status individuals, low status, whether they were dragging a plow on a fucking farm or whatever it was. Nowadays, all these low status people have got access to the internet and social media.
Yeah.
And they've never in their life been able to tell someone what to do, ever. They've been bottom of the food chain, stacking shelves. Not saying stacking shelves is a problem, but they've always been bottom of the food chain in the social status. And now, through a guise of social justice warrior, they can tell people.
It can feel significant.
Yeah. And probably for the same reason that, there were some awful racist tweets and whatever that went out. And I'm a firm believer that the people that did that are scum, but a lot of them were probably doing it to attention seek.
Oh, 100%.
So like you've got perfect mix of scummy attention seekers.
Yeah.
But like
They knew what was going to happen as soon as they fucking posted it, especially now. They knew as soon as I posted it, same as the footballers knew, sadly, that they were going to get racist abuse. The people that posted it knew what was going to happen as soon as they posted it. Oh, there's going to be loads of attention on me. I might even get arrested. Like, I'm sure that went through someone saying, I might even get arrested. I might even get on the news.
and they might get some kind of notoriety for the only time in their life.
It's mad, isn't it?
Like I sometimes I think the word sycophantic, where you do things in that manner for personal gain. For those guys, it wasn't personal gain, but like today, I messaged Luke before and I go, oh, I had a pop-up spinning today. Every year I have a pop-up spinning. It's like an annual thing. Because if people hate what I say, they'll comment. If they love what I say, I'll comment. Both parties will share it. No one's truly offended.
Mhm.
It's a real good, nothing below the belt body shot to attack spinning. Because people that love it will
It's
go,
like going after Love Island, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's so many places that you can create and cultivate a big amount of attention.
Well, funnily enough, when Lord was in before, when Lucy was in before, we were talking about morning routines, and I said, I remember when James was talking about ice baths earlier in the year, and everyone was tagging me and shit. I hope Paul Mort doesn't see this. Have you and James fell out? I was like, what? Because he fucking doesn't like ice baths. Here's one for you as well. Just spent 10 grand on an ice bath.
I dip in the sea most days.
Have you not seen this new thing, this new ice bath?
Yeah, people are going
The
nuts. for
fucking, what is it called again? It's called Brass Monkeys. You don't have to empty the water. The water stays at the temperature you want it to, so you get to adjust it. You change the water once a year, and it has a filter that you have to clean every 2 to 3 weeks, and you have it outside.
it looks like a freezer, doesn't it?
It looks fucking unbelievable. It was so good I bought 2 by accident. That's my refund. Lesley was like, Paul, what have you just spent? It was fucking 17 grand. What have you just spent 17 grand on? Called Brass Monkeys. What have you actually bought?
Strippers.
I was like, oh,
into a brothel.
I had to ask for a refund on the other one, but
Apparently
and I was like, why would people want to get involved in shit that isn't even their business as well?
There's apparently a brothel in London where the receipt comes out as a steak place.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
I've not
that's
been.
smart. That's smart.
That's cool, isn't it? So you expense it and people are, oh, it's expensive steak.
That is cool.
With the ice bath thing, like everyone's like, well, British amazing. I was like, yeah, but I don't want to get in a cold bath.
Well, what you did was really cool. You also framed it as it doesn't affect muscle growth or something.
So there's different studies. So basically, depending on the sport in which you're participating in, will determine whether or not it's beneficial or not.
Really?
From a therapeutic setting, do you know what? It's probably great to alter your state of consciousness without your phone for 10 minutes. Imagine that. So I'm pro.
Do you know why I think it makes you feel better? Because you have to breathe harder, which oxygenates your fucking brain. So you feel fucking better when you get out.
And the sensation that you'll get for returning to a homeostatic temperature. Your body's like, good behavior, Paul.
Yeah.
You're not going to die of hypothermia today.
Yeah.
But when I'm in Sydney, all around the year, the sea is hugely refreshing. One of the key components of my life is getting in cold water.
Yeah.
So no one saw that.
Yeah.
No one realised. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, James fucking hates ice baths because he's dipping in Bondi, you cunts. You know what I mean? Like, I make a whole fucking hour ceremony out of going down to the beach.
Dude, I saw that.
Dip.
Do you know what's ridiculous? I get asked all the time, why don't you just go and see? I literally have to walk out of the house, down a bank, get in the sea, walk back up the bank. Like, I'm talking 4-minute walk.
I think 12.
Fucking pain in the ass.
I think 12 people have died in the last week getting in the sea in the UK.
Really?
They don't realise how cold it is because it's 30 degrees or whatever.
And you've got that fucking swell and all that, haven't you?
Well, a lot of people would then, like, they'll probably just be like, swim out to a buoy. But then swimming's one of the only exercises that you do it, you get colder. People don't realise that. Even if you swim really hard without a wetsuit, you're getting colder the whole time.
Really?
And
Why?
Because your body is, first of all, when it's windy, when you're cold, the water, because it's in contact with the skin, can wick away heat much better. That's why we sweat. The water on the surface of the skin helps wick away sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if the sea is a considerably lower temperature than your body, you cannot produce heat at the requirement necessary to keep a homeostatic kind of temperature.
Yeah.
So even though they're swimming, they think, oh, warm up. You won't. You're in cold water.
So it's not like when ice melts, the temperature of the sea doesn't change. So if I got in an ice bath, the temperature of the water would change, wouldn't it? It must do. Because the ice starts to melt in
the
that.
water would get warmer because you're getting in it.
But when you're in the sea,
there's too much water.
Yeah.
There's too much body, and even if you're moving through it, and then when your muscles start to fail, you're going to drown.
Sea swimming's no fucking joke either.
We used to do point to point in Bondi, and like you just swim across. There's sharks there and stuff. But again, do you know what? Sharks are the perfect comparison to vaccines, right? There is a chance you will die getting in the sea, but statistically, very, very unlikely. But if someone dies from a shark attack today, oh, not many people are getting in the sea tomorrow because they can't fathom the statistical irrelevance of it. I think aspirin might even fuck up more people than the vaccine right now.
Really?
Yeah, like there's some crazy thing. Like people are worried about sharks in the sea when statistically they're more likely that a vending machine will fall on them. But there are so many people in the sea at any given point on any given day. Drowning kills more people than sharks in Australia, like substantially more.
And smoking will.
Yeah, when people get in the sea, they're like, oh, it could be a shark. Yeah, you could also drown, mate.
Yeah.
And like, it's so crazy that our attention's drawn to the significant statistics, and that doesn't make it right. Yeah. But again,
I had a guy the other day. He's probably listening, not anymore. He was saying, oh, I was really looking forward to your live show, but I'm not coming now because you've had the vaccine. And I looked at him, I was like, bro, you're at least fucking 3 stone overweight. You're way more likely to get anything than it. Blew me head off. I was like, really?
What does he gain out of that?
You're digging me out on having the vaccine. You can't control what goes in your fucking mouth. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? I don't know.
Isn't it mad? Like, so for instance,
I don't know whether he was just offending Love Island. I think he might have been offended because I said the Love Island. I said, I'm not taking your advice on the vaccine. If you watch Love Island, use you instead of the word you in any conversation, or you snort yourself inside out every week. And he went off on one.
The thing is, so like, let's say for instance, I fucking hate Harry Potter. I hate the films. The majority of the UK love it. Absolutely love it.
I had this conversation with Lord as well. That's mad.
What, Harry Potter?
No, we talk about Harry Potter because I think it's amazing.
Well, I've never seen it. I've never seen it. So imagine the statistical significance of me not liking Harry Potter. Now, what I do not do is go around protesting, stopping people from watching it.
Yeah. Or messaging J.K. Rowling telling her you hate a book that you haven't read.
And I'm not going to say to you, I'm not coming to your show because you watch Harry Potter.
Yeah.
What you do with yourself is completely up to you.
Yeah.
And the reason that there's so many pro-vaccine propaganda is to put out the fires of anti-vax propaganda. And it's absolutely mental. Like, but what are people truly going to stand from it? Like, there's so many, the human brain just loves the idea of,
I think you get a lot of people who are addicted to drama as well.
Ooh,
Like
yeah.
they get that. Do you know what I mean? They get addicted to drama because they've got that. I think a lot of people just haven't got enough. They haven't got that sense of purpose. They're not working towards anything. So the only thing that makes them feel anything is drama.
I was going to say purpose.
Yeah.
So many people go through life blindfolded with no purpose.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's sad.
So they can't feel anything. They can't get I would call it that life force. The only way they get any kind of that significance, that fire, is by fucking fighting with people over
Comments.
shit. Over shit.
Can you imagine what platform Facebook and Instagram be with no comments? I genuinely, I imagine you could turn off comments indefinitely. Or
Well, the forums would be fucking massive because they just screenshot.
what I fucking hate.
They screenshot and then take it somewhere else and still talk shit.
There's some like anti-diet people who only allow comments from people they follow.
Really?
That again is like one-sided propaganda.
Yeah.
They're creating a narrative of agreement.
Yeah.
Like-
Well, you see some of the guys off fucking Love Island, Geordie showing that they'll do an ad and they'll turn off comments on the ad. Comments are on all the rest of the time, but they'll put an ad up for something like fucking boom bod, fucking some kind of trading, some kind of betting, join this betting club, and then they turn the comments off just on that post because now they're gonna get it.
It's crazy. But what I hate as well is criticism you get from people that don't follow you. Or like,
Or they'll just pop up and give you shit.
I get girls DMing me on a Saturday, like, where are you? And I'm like, you don't follow me. Why'd you care where I am? I don't care that much. Or then you get hate or judgment, or someone tries to tell me how I should do my job, and I'm like, you don't even follow me.
Yeah.
Like,
Love that.
you've come to my profile to engage with me. You've manually come here. It's kind of pathetic. It's not like you saw a post and wow, I'm going to message him. Or they manually come and check the stories. And people that create fake accounts to ask questions. I mean, can you, like, I'm not mad at these people. I actually got this from you. I learned this from you back in the day. You've got to think about where they are, who they are, what they're experiencing to be able to be in that part of their life where it's probably the highlight of their day.
Yeah, giving someone else shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get this every I'll normally get it at like 4 a.m. 4 a.m. on a Sunday morning, someone will fucking go off on one, either in the DMs, and I'm like, dude, I'd rather you doing that to me than giving you fucking missus shit. Do you know what I mean? I'm a big enough boy to handle that shit now. Like, it's I think it's just like a pain relief for the minute. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I feel like shit. I've seen this post. I've seen what you've said. And I've got two options. I can just go past the ad. I can just move on, or I can try and make myself feel better by talking shit.
I love Ricky Gervais where he goes, just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right.
Nah. Just because you're right doesn't mean that I'm wrong either. Like, I get that all the time. Oh, Paul, you get asked this all the time. One of the most common questions I get asked is, how do you deal with blank people? How do you deal with negative people? How do you deal with aggressive people? How do you deal with narcissists? How do you deal with opinionated people? It doesn't matter what it is. I'm like, you don't fucking need to deal with anybody. Do you know what I mean?
Like,
Mind your own fucking business.
If you're running a business, like let's look at this objectively. You're posting comments to create engagement, to drive people to a squeeze page or a landing page to conduct business with you. You appreciate that if 1% of your following do business with you, you're going to make enough money to live. The end. The end. People go, oh, but how do you deal with the 98? You don't have to. You can try to convert them, but it's the same process as everything else. Or like,
I think you got to also consider that most people are on social media though to be entertained. That's what social media is really. It's not. There's fuck all social about it. Really, it's just entertainment. Just entertainment. They're just filling a gap. So I think that's a big mistake that businesses make, is that they think people are on social media to buy shit. You know what I mean? Instagram have that shop thing. I don't even know how that's doing. See, it seemed to be quite popular at first, but I don't go on Instagram and go shopping.
no, never.
I mean, to be fair though, I do buy a lot of shit from there. Do you know when you see an ad for something, I'm like, I'll get stuff arrived in the post. I'm like, what the fuck have I?
My confidence has been knocked since I saw an Iron Man mask on TikTok, one that you press the button and it opens.
Did you buy it?
Yeah.
Did you?
It never came.
Shit. Oh, it never came.
It's like
Shit.
100 quid.
Oh, was it? You know the worst thing I've bought? You know those diffusers?
Yeah.
That have the lovely smoke coming out. I bought one of them for the car.
Shut up. Lord's got one in her car.
I bought one of them for the car. The worst part is, stuff like that comes, I'm like, where the fuck? How have I bought that?
I'm not.
Clear the Instagram ad was good.
But you know what I'm terrible for is Amazon. When something comes to my mind, I think I do have, and not to offend people with ADHD, I think I might be on the spectrum a bit. Some people have said that to me, and whether or not it's true, I don't know. But when I remember something like I need floss, I can't relax until I've done it. So it's so easy for me to go to Amazon to buy the floss.
Mhm.
Just a single package. I know what brand I want. I don't want to go into Boots and them not have the brand I want because I've just wasted time. But I'm very concerned about Amazon taking over the world. This is a conspiracy, right? Me and Luke joke about this. Soon everything will be Amazon. Look at the trajectory of where Amazon's gone from 97.
Well, why would you buy it? This is what I don't get about Christmas shopping. I'm like, who the fuck goes Christmas shopping?
Well,
Why would you drag yourself through that whole fucking rigmarole
so
when you can just go on Amazon?
So at the moment, I've got a second chance to get Sunday Times bestseller, which I didn't get on Not a Life Coach first time.
Mhm.
So paperback is available for pre-order. WH Smith did a deal for us,
Mhm.
and they're a bookstore, did a great thing. They're selling books at the events. But then part of me is like, I used their checkout store,
Mhm.
and it's fucking a ball ache. Sorry, WH Smith, if you're watching. Name, address, billing address, shipping address, credit card, input. People go to Amazon, they're one click. It is one
Just a
click.
little fucking slide,
And
innit?
it's free postage.
Yeah.
WH Smith, £2.50. How are you going to compete with that?
Mm.
But Amazon, no offense to them, they're cunts. So I was chatting to Alan from Grenade. They are selling, if you sell to Amazon, they start selling so much of your product that they then want a larger profit margin, because then you're tunnel holed because you can't go anywhere else.
Yeah.
He was telling me that if people search for his bars, they then bring up the competitor and they'll sell his competitor's bars at a loss just to put pressure on Grenade to start selling through them.
Jeez.
So they're a real nasty market. And also Amazon, I don't believe this 100% true. Don't sue me for defamation. If their products get returned or they don't end up going to where they're going, they just destroy them even though they're brand new.
Yeah, or they send you back. We got a load of massage guns sent back.
Yeah.
So we've got a fucking room full of massage guns because they won't keep them
And
in their warehouse.
And if they can't send them back, they'll destroy them.
Really?
Because if you've got a TV, say you got an 80-inch TV from last year,
Yeah.
they can't keep that in stock because it will undermine their new stock.
Yeah.
So it's better for them to destroy it and keep it out the market
Sure.
so that it doesn't end up being reduced and sent to someone because now that person doesn't need a TV anymore.
Yeah.
And then they can't sell them this
Hey,
year's
here's a
model.
mad fact for you. Who the fuck told me this? Someone told me this mad fact. Who the fuck was it? Oh, it's gonna blow me. It's gonna do me fucking head in. Do you know when you have a conversation with someone and you can't remember who it was and what? Well, here's what it was about. It was Martin Irvin, photographer. Do you know Martin or not? Phil Graham's mate, takes all the really cool
Okay, yeah,
photos.
yeah.
Martin was telling me that if someone buys something like, let's just say we do a podcast about podcasts, and we're like, in the show notes you can get the link to the headphones and the mic. If whatever someone buys within 24 hours of you giving that affiliate link, whatever, you get a kickback. Isn't that mad? So I could send you and say, right, I got the headphones from Amazon. Here's a link. If I bought a fucking 80-inch TV the day after, or the same day, regardless whether it was your link or not, I'll get a kickback of buying that TV.
From Amazon.
Mm.
So the concern here as well is like, so a lot of, say, small towns in small areas, the shops would have gone out of business. So they couldn't, COVID fucked a lot of small
Yeah.
businesses. Amazon will move in a depot there with product stock and they'll end up working in the warehouse for Amazon.
Mhm.
Now, when that's there, no businesses can compete with that. So the people from the small businesses work there. Amazon times them and knows exactly how long it would take them to get from one corner of the depot to the drop-off area. So they only have that amount of time to do it. And they have scheduled in times to have pisses and shits. The delivery drivers, have you seen how they drop off and run? It's because they're timed between stops. So
And they have to get rid of all of their stock by the end of the day, I think.
So they're reporting now that their Amazon drivers are pissing in bottles because they can't take breaks with the amount of time. Even in America, some of the drivers.
I think there's no holiday pay and shit,
Yeah, nothing.
No holiday pay, no sick pay.
They also, so they.
On the self-employed.
I think
Amazon drivers like self-employed. They have to buy their own van and shit.
I think so.
There was an amazing movie that Ken Loach guy made.
So they've already taken over logistics and delivery and getting people to do it like almost like an Uber.
Yeah.
But then I think they can get like fined or something if something's late. But on Joe Rogan, I heard about they give someone 11 minutes to go in someone's house and assemble a desk that's got 52 pieces.
Shit.
11 minutes in and out.
Shit.
So these, like,
That would take me 11 days, that.
but now these workers, because of the powers that be or whatever, they can't leave and go to a competitor. And the bigger that Amazon gets,
Because there's no competitor.
there's no competitors.
Shit.
So the bigger that Amazon gets, they're just going to hold more and more carts. Like I was saying to Darren yesterday, I was like, what happens if Amazon buy Apple? What if they then buy Tesco's, buy Sainsbury's, turn them into Amazon Fresh? You know, soon enough.
Well, what's mad is it's funny you should say that, because where our kids go to school on this new estate, there are all these new. So there's an estate, all houses, flats, apartments, brand new school or newish school, and there's like a shopping area. So there's a Tesco, a cafe, and then the rest, almost all hairdressers. The rest of them are almost all empty. This brand new thing, and it's because if you want to rent a store or a shop on the same this like semicircle of shops, you're not allowed to sell anything that Tesco sell.
That's mad.
It's in that mad. So there was cafes opening there, and they weren't allowed to sell any of the products that Tesco sold. Or they couldn't be there.
Tesco's
so
probably own the whole
they've got
complex.
3 or 4 empty fucking shops and a Tesco.
But this is only going to get worse and increase. Now, again, when I order something same day on Amazon, and now imagine something's come up in a depot saying to a poor employee who's probably not getting paid that much, you need to go get James's floss and you might need to run because he wants it by 7 p.m. tonight. And I haven't even paid. But the thing is, I'm not paying for that privilege. It's part of my prime.
Yeah.
So for my £12 a month, whatever it is, on my beck and call, someone's got to run for me in the depot.
It's mad that.
It's worrying. That's what it is.
£12 a fucking month.
So if they were to buy Tesco's and Sainsbury's and everyone else, they've already got the logistics for depot storage. Like
ordering online.
As they get bigger, it's
Mate,
just
some of them shopping companies that ordering online shit. We try and do online shopping for like your grocery shop. It's fucking terrible. They've got all these replacements. You order one thing and you get something else. That wouldn't happen with Amazon. So Amazon would give you exactly what you wanted.
Costco used to put their roast chickens at the back of the store and sell them at a loss.
Yeah.
And they would call it its greatest loss product because people would go past all the other products they made profit on the way to get roast chicken. Amazon, when they sell my book, often will sell it at a loss to undermine their competitors. They're making that much money. They're ruthless. If Waterstones and WH Smiths go under in the next 3 years, it will be purely because of Amazon. And there's no question in my mind that...
and the fact that they make online shopping hard. You've just said it there. Do you know what I mean?
And they can't.
WH Smith will go out of business before Waterstones. Waterstones is more specialist, I think. We've had, in fact, I can't remember the last time I seen a WH Smith in a shopping centre or a high street that was open. You see them in train stations and airports, but I can't remember. The one in our high street's closed. The one in Newcastle high street's closed. It's mad that.
How would you feel if over the last 10 years you met someone who had a paper business?
Paper business? Like a newspaper?
No, just paper.
Oh, paper.
Like, Dunder Mifflin, like in The Office.
Yeah.
Someone goes, I create paper for schools and businesses and offices. And
they're going to struggle, aren't they?
You're sticking time bomb before you go out of business.
Yeah.
You'll be like, soon, enjoy the next few years, mate, because no one's using fucking paper anymore like they used to.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about most high street stores.
Is it? See, I think it's like gyms. I was talking to a lady who owns 3 gyms the other day. I was saying, the ones that get killed are the ones like in between. You've got like the budget ones and the high end ones. The ones that are a little bit in between that do a bit of everything, they're the ones that are going to struggle the most. And I think it's the same with stores and even restaurants. Like, look at all these chains that are just fucking disappearing, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? Like Frankie and Benny's, I think they've gone under completely. We've got Pizza Huts closing down. All of these shitty chains are all closing.
And I guarantee it's whoever's giving the most favourable deal to Uber Eats and Deliveroo. Because again, these algorithms work similarly where I wouldn't surprise me if Nando's giving 20% or something, let's say, to Uber Eats to come up at the top as recommended.
Yeah.
So it's whoever drops their pants most for the technology that's going to...
You can do that there's one podcast platform where you can do that, I think.
What about...
You can actually ask to...
What about Uber as well? Uber is fucking tearing apart taxi drivers, isn't it?
Mate, Uber's... Well, I've got a story about Uber for you. We have like 2 in our town. Someone came to an event. He's a banker from London. Came to an event. He said, "I'm going to order an Uber." I was like, "Fucking good luck with that." 45 minutes. Tell them to get it.
I'm a-
Watch out, if one guy, Martin guy I was talking about, came to do a photo shoot last week, and the taxi came from Newcastle. Sorry, the Uber came from Newcastle to get him to take him back to Newcastle. 25 minutes it took to come and get him to take him back. So there was none in our town. Isn't that mad?
So, but again, I was in Strand the other day, and I was like, right, I'm gonna get an Uber. It was like looking for an Uber, and I was like, oh, black cab. It was £20 on Uber, and I see a black cab. I'm like, fuck 'em. Let's get a black cab. Like, I always want to support them when I can.
Yeah.
So comes on, get in, meter, play on my phone, get home, 54 quid.
Really?
So, I
Fucking
mean,
hell.
it's 11 p.m, so I'm hardly getting the use of the bus lanes then.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I sat the whole time there was a bit of virtue signaling. I was like, look at me doing my bit for the black cabs. As soon as I got out, I was like, I can't wait for you cunts to go out of business.
54 quid.
Because then he'll drive an Uber and and I'll pay him £20 when he's
That's
driving
wild,
an Uber.
isn't it?
It's mad. And you know about the knowledge?
Yes.
Like, as soon as Uber came out within a year, the knowledge university, boom, done.
Well, there was a guy who picked us up to take us to the train station, right? Taxi driver. They're doing all right in our town because there's no Uber.
For now.
And he said, so that he got a notice, he got this thing came up on his dashboard that said, there's a jumper at the Tyne Bridge, so you can't go over the Tyne Bridge. And he was like, oh, I'm just, he had to stop and pull over and say, I'm just figuring out how we're going to get there. I was like, look on your fucking phone, you duck egg. He didn't even, and he's a black cab driver, couldn't figure out, in his head, couldn't figure out how to get, like, to the train. Uber drivers are now also delivering food. Like, I think that there was one guy picked us up, but then was going straight to drop off food straight after.
Oh, mate, I didn't tell you I had this in Gold Coast. I'm getting an Uber during the night going to the gym. The guy's like, oh, you lads off training? We're like, yeah. And we're like, oh. And he was chatting. We're like, what'd you do? Do you just full time? He's like, no, I'm PT. But I've just qualified, but I drive Uber. And he's like, you can make $1,500 to $2,000 a week, like £1,000 a week. And I was like, oh, yeah. And then he's like, yeah, mate, Saturdays I do 13, 15 hours.
Yeah.
Really good money. And I was like, you're a qualified PT, you're driving an Uber. It's almost so accessible for people to now get in their car, drive, work, that it completely detracted him from his passion.
Yeah.
Because I suppose, not to take anything away from the drivers, they've just got to drive and follow a map. And they get paid for it.
Yeah.
There's no the guaranteed income, guaranteed demand. Like, it's such a safe life for people to do it. And it's great. I love Uber. I love the technology. I love the fact that if I've got a girlfriend, I can put her in an Uber and know she's going home safe.
Yeah.
And that I can contact that driver or whatever.
Or you can tell them not to talk to you when they pick you up.
You got to do Uber.
That's my favorite thing about Uber.
And you pay more for that.
Yeah.
People go, how'd you do that? Well, you do Uber Comfort.
Yeah.
Isn't that more expensive?
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
But it depends on my mood, actually, because other times I empathize that it could be quite a lonely job.
Yeah.
And especially if anyone's I've got this from doing actually, if they are, if I get in and I suspect, or if they have some Muslims have like dangling.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know the name. And I'll get in and I'll be like, Salam alaikum. And they'll be like, alaikum salam. And I'll be like, sweet. And they never expect a white guy to get in and say that.
Yeah.
Or if they've got some kind of ethnic background, where you from, boss man?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh, I'm from Pakistan. And I'll be like, Inzamam, best cricketer ever.
Yeah.
And I like sometimes getting in conversations with them and having a bit of fun, but only if it's a short journey.
Yeah.
But even then, sometimes I'll say, sorry, mate, I've got to work, and I'll put my AirPods in, even if I'm not listening to music, just to try and.
Do you ever ask them if I'm being busy?
Been busy. What's that, PK? What time are you on till? What time are you on till?
It's unbelievable. Do you ever ask that? I got out my way not to ask that question now. I feel it coming out my mouth. I'm like, nope, I'm not asking if he's being busy.
No, it definitely depends. Like black cabs as well, I get in and I sometimes start a conversation and very much regret it.
Yeah. Hey, so listen, what do you, because I saw you looking at your watch, I was looking at mine as well.
I was just checking how we're doing. We're coming up to nearly 2 hours.
We are. What else are you working on right now that's new? Got the tour, got the paperback out, app still fucking flying.
Do you know what? I'm coasting at the moment. Like, I'm just enjoying it. I'm not writing a new book.
I think you're waiting to go back to Australia.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Nailing this too. I'm waiting to go back to Australia.
Like, the UK, I like it and it's great. Like, I'm going to go see my family for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Have a little barbecue back there, but
you better not eat too much if I'm rolling in the morning, bro.
With
that neon belly.
I was 97 kg last night. So
shit, were you?
Yeah. But like, London's great for work. It's great for opportunities. Great for podcasting, doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
but my soul just feels a bit suffocated here.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely on edge that Australia.
Why do you think that is? What do you think it is? Can't just be the weather.
I don't. I'm not fully sure. It is a bit the weather,
Is it the pace?
not even the pace.
Because me and Darren spoke about this as well. Why, like, he doesn't want to live there,
he
and
doesn't-
he's a hustler, and he.
Yeah, but look what Australia's done for me, and look what London's done for him. He got his biggest social media growth sitting in a hotel room in Sydney. He's fucking bonkers if he thinks that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His story views probably have never been bigger than they were when he was in Sydney.
Yeah.
Because you want to live an aspirational life.
Yeah.
People in London love seeing Sydney. People in London don't like seeing Oxford Circus.
Yeah.
For Darren, I think it comes from a place where he lived there for 5 years.
Yeah.
But where he lived in Sydney is like saying you live in London, but you live in Maidenhead. You're an hour out.
Yeah.
You're commuting in. You're spending your time on public transport.
Yeah.
But also, he's got much stronger family ties here.
Yeah.
So like, I completely appreciate that. But he's always on edge when he's in Sydney.
Yeah.
He can never be happy in Sydney.
Yeah.
He always can't wait to go home. He goes because it's the right thing to do,
Mhm.
but he can't wait to go home, and that's where we oppose. And at the moment, yeah, I'm waiting on PR. I'm waiting on Australia to sort his shit out.
Mhm.
As if I got, you know, I don't really care much about investments and stuff like that. If I get PR, I'm gonna look to buy a house in probably maybe in Gold Coast,
Mhm.
not even in Sydney.
Mhm.
Big house, 4 beds, swimming pool, on the water, because the property prices aren't too expensive there. Then I'm safe for the next 5-10 years. To any of my friends in the UK, you need someone to stay, come stay with
Well,
me.
funny, I've never been to Australia. Did
Well,
you know
then
that? I bet you didn't know that about
Come,
me.
come stay
ever.
with me.
Do you know what puts me off?
What?
A fucking long ass flight.
Well, in first class, it's all right, mate.
It is, but not with 2 fucking kids.
Well, actually, I've told like,
Could come on, mate. We could talk. You can remember that time you spent 2 hours, you and Darren, convincing Lesley to let me do mushrooms. We could also spend 2 hours and let me do a month in Australia on my own.
well, I will say business is better than first. Like, because business, your bed and your seat is the same. But when you go first, you've got a bed and a seat. And the seat is too much of a seat to be a bed, and the bed is too much of a bed to be a seat.
I've only been first once, and that was when I went to Miami with Craig David.
I remember you saying
Yeah, it was wild. It was wild. But for the difference,
It's not,
you got an escort. Someone came and picked you up and took you to the fucking where you needed to be.
mate, to get sitting on a plane for 14 hours with not a care in the world and limited Wi-Fi, it's actually quite nice. And
14 hours, though. That's a
14
fucking
from
long
Abu
old
Dhabi.
time. You've got to be all right with your own company to do that.
It's 21 hours. It's fine. Oh, you've had a couple of panic attacks on planes.
A
But,
couple. Fuck me.
but like going there, the lifestyle is just so much nicer. And you know what? If I got a house, I want to get a dog. I'll grow up with a dog my whole life. I haven't had one for 15 years.
Yeah.
I want to have a dog. I want to get a missus. I want to start slowing down. I just want to start. You know, dogs. I almost feel like I just want to get comfy and get ready to die for the next 50 years. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
But I can't. I'm like, do you know what? My life right now.
You get bored, Matt. You get bored.
Yeah, but I work as well. I'll still do all my endeavors, but then I will come back. As soon as Australia gets a bit cold, I'll come back and have a mad 3 months in London, then fuck off.
Yeah.
I'll get my fix. At the moment in life, I feel like a plane that's waiting to land.
What's the dog doing?
What, when I'm
What's
away?
the dog doing when you're coming back for
Well,
3
if I've
months?
got a missus, she'll be there, right? And I'll be like, look, love,
I'm going home. I'm
You're-
going to England for 3 months.
you ain't got to work. You can come out for a month. But then some of my mates that live in Sydney, like Ferris, don't know what he does for a job. Willits, he'll be busy. Cam, my mate who's a carpenter, I'll be like, look, mate, how'd you fancy $200 a day indefinitely? You got to live in my house and look after my dog. I'll contract him and I'll be like, look, make sure that door fits all right.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Actually, I'll put him on a full-time wage to live in my house, swim in my swimming pool, eat my food, and walk my dog. And I'll just be like, have a look around the house and fix anything that needs fixing. That's what I do.
Handy cam.
Yeah, that's it. So Cam, if you're listening, I've got a job for you. I would employ my friends, or I'd have a Swedish student also called Ingrid that kind of helps around the house. Maybe
Yeah.
she gets free rent, walks the dog,
Where's
good,
the bikini?
good pocket money, wears a bikini, and then my future wife, if she's giving me lip, I'll be like, Ingrid's looking good.
Yeah.
She'll get that because my future wife she'll have a lot of banter with me like that.
Yeah.
That's another trait of avoidance. They always talk about a utopian future wife.
I thought we're just about to get into an application form, mate.
Yeah, apply within. But yeah, so that's the dream. I reckon Luke's under the impression that if I get to Oz with PR, he's like the forbidden fruit won't be so forbidden. And
Yeah,
he reckons I'll be in the UK more.
Yeah.
But like just being here,
What are you going to do if you don't get PR?
go America.
Is it?
Yeah. I just fucking can't stand the UK. Like, it sounds bad. When I got back, I
Where
was like,
where
oh,
would
this
you
is
go in
nice.
America?
Texas.
Would you?
Yeah, I'll go Austin for a bit
Yeah.
and then maybe LA. But I don't really
Nice.
like LA.
Nice.
But do you know what? I'm really looking forward to just going somewhere. Do you know what? My whole life, I've always bounced between places.
Mhm.
Played rugby in New Zealand when I was 23, traveled Southeast Asia at 24, 25.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not happy unless I'm moving about. And I fucking hate the bullshit that we have at the moment with everything. Live in London. I've got tours most weekends for the next 2-3 months.
Mhm.
And like, it'd just be nice to be able to call Darren now and go, oh, mate, should we get on the 9 p.m. to fucking Palma for 3 days and come back? Not have to worry about all the bullshit that goes with it.
Yeah. We double vax.
I will be in 2
Get,
days.
get that double fucking vax. You're on.
Yeah, I will.
I love it. Mr. James fucking Smith. Thank you so much. I was going to say, where do people find out more about you? Because that's normally me thing. James Smith PT.
That's it.
In case you didn't know he was a PT.
That's it. It's on there. I can't get rid of it because someone else has got James Smith. I'll be seeing you again at IFS.
You probably, you will be seeing me
Bank
again
holiday
at
weekend,
IFS.
August.
Yeah, you will. IFS, how do I get tickets for that? Internationalfitnesssummit.com, I think.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
We've actually worked out with the ticket sales so far. It's going to be the biggest business event for personal trainers that's ever existed.
Is it?
What's
And
the
on the
most?
Saturday we're doing
Hannah's pissed.
we're doing panels. I'm not getting pissed.
Mr. Jam's doing a DJ set. in the
Mr.
evening.
Jams, we're doing mental health, we're doing fitness, we're doing workshops, and then on Sunday we're doing
Business.
business.
I think Budgie Smugglers are doing an assault course, like a Ninja Warrior
Fuck
one,
off.
with drinking. Yeah.
Oh my God, Budgie Smugglers. Wow. That's me. I'm even more excited about it now. And on the Sunday, I'm actually going to be talking about how in 2020 we did £987,000 with me doing all of the coaching. So I'm going to be, the talk's actually called The Uncircumcised Truth about building a £1 million a year coaching business. So yeah,
Nearly $1 million.
nearly $1 million. Well, funny enough, the last slide, I'm literally giving away my whole talk here, says, if that's failure, I'm cool with it.
Fuck.
Yeah, sick.
Awesome.
All right, James Smith, thank you, sir.